This spawn has managed to stay good for so long. My name is Gudii and this video is for Oramond West. This spawn is located to the west of the Radalon city. You don't need to do any questing to get here, but there is the Oramond quest as an option to do. By doing some of the tasks for that quest, you will get voting points, and at 50 points, you unlock access to the catacombs, which is a good dynamic spawn. At 150 points, you will be able to trade with the NPC that buys items from the Oramond monsters. And lastly, at 300, you unlock a shortcut straight to the city, as well as access to other spawns like Gluth Bandits and the Oramond raid systems. Without the shortcut, you need to walk through the Oramond South Minotaurs to the teleport on the east side, and then go to the spawn or the city. So it is something useful to have in the long run, so you might want to consider working on it. Especially there is a few tasks that you can do while hunting. In this area and also on the way through the Minos, you will see some routes that you can pick on, and successfully getting 5 of those equals to 1 voting point. You can also get a task from Terrence to kill 100 blood beasts for 1 point, and once you have the first promotion at 50 votes cast, you can also pick the task to kill 100 raw elementals. But the fastest way to get points is to repeat the communication breakdown task over and over. Regardless, it's up to you how or if you get the points at all, since like I said before, you don't need to do anything for actual hunting. So with that aside, let's talk about the spawn. This is a dynamic spawn that in its normal phase will only have blood beasts, devourers and raw elementals. However, very commonly there will be a Quara Scouts raid active. This gives a lot more density of monsters to the spawn and boosts the experience quite a bit. But unfortunately, the raid frequency and duration seems to be random. I recommend to just hunt when the raid is active, since that improves the spawn by a lot. But to check if the raid is active, you need to get to the spawn and see. Or you can walk around the edge of the city and see if you spot a Quara. If you don't see a Quara, it's most likely not active, but very rarely the Quaras might be off screen or somebody lured them away while hunting. This whole area is what is considered Oramond West. Right in the middle there is yet another spawn that is pretty good for night, the Gluth Tower, that I will cover separately, so consider subscribing. As for the experience you can make in Oramond West, with a level 260, skills 126, I was doing 1.9kk raw XP, and with my new server character at level 202 with skills 94 and fully in view, I was doing 1.5kk raw experience. And the profit you can make if you loot all the monsters is of between 120 to 200k in average, which is decent, but keep in mind that looting can decrease the experience a bit. However, even on the hunt doing 1.9kk raw, I was still looting. Also, another thing that does lower the experience a bit is picking up the routes, which I was doing on the new server EK but not on the other one. So both of those can be variables to consider. As for the way to hunt, I was doing 14 pulls going from south to north and then back to the start. Walking through the outskirts of the city also reduced the experience a bit, since it is a long way from the top of the spawn back to the first pull, but sometimes there is enough monsters to do a pull in these spots. Regardless, I found it necessary to do that big of a lap to avoid overkilling. On my EK with lower skills, I probably could have enough with doing a smaller lap like this, but I didn't try it. And that's all I got for this video. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Tuna Hero, Thor the Slasher and Elber for supporting the channel.